Welcome back to Lost Docs Media, everybody. I am so happy to have you guys back here with me. You have no idea. We got so many good jamokes on the docket today. It's insane. We got Nikocado, Avocado. Apparently this guy lost like 250 pounds overnight. Everybody online is suspecting that it's a Psyop. And a little bit later, I'm going to give you my 2 cents on why I think it's not. Then we got Brad Williams. Brad Williams, this is going to be an interesting one because Brad ended up blocking me on Twitter, right? And when I tell you why, it might end up shocking you. It's a very sus story there. Then we got Haley Welch and the debut of her podcast, Talk a Tui. You know, the Hawk Tui girl? She, the debut of her podcast didn't go as well as everybody thought it would, and Dave Portnoy has a couple of choice words to say about that. Very funny. Then we got Sam J on Kill Tony. Remember we talked about Sam J a couple episodes back? Her appearance on Kill Tony is a cringe fest. Drew Nickens pulling out the cringe card hard as fuck, bombing all over that goddamn stage. Did you know that this guy bombs in like regular conversations? I didn't even know that was possible, but yet here we are, right? And then we got the good old debut of our latest segment. It's going to be called What's Eating Ethan Klein. Now, this is going to be a special one because, we don't want to cover Ethan on every single episode. You know, I talked about that before, how, I don't want every single episode to be fully about H3. So we're going to be just checking in on these guys once a week and see how they're doing. But for now, I want to jump back into this tune because I am so digging this thing. Ooh. Should we have a smoke? Should we have a little bit of a smoke now and then we'll have a smoke break later to get into this What's Eating Ethan Klein? Yes, I think so. Have a smoke with me, folks.
In a piece inside a piece, there's love for us beyond these walls. Coping and hoping that the tide will turn green. There's a chance in the stars. Let's keep on looking. Who's leading us here? Who's leading us there? Is this a real revolution now? Is this a real revolution?
Ooh, yes. Just a couple hits now, folks. Just a couple, because we can't start the episode off, completely stoned out of our minds. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's get into it. We're going to start with the What's Eating Ethan Klein segment. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, what is eating Ethan Klein? I will tell you in a second, okay? So, like I said, I don't want to talk about Ethan every single episode, the whole episode, but we're going to touch in from time to time. This past week, Ethan had a run-in with one of Sneako's dedicated fans. Now, if you're not familiar with Ethan's beef with Sneako, I'll fill you in quickly. Ethan has always hated characters like Sneako, these right-wing cucks, you know what I mean? And Sneako's an actual cuck. So Ethan really, he shits on him any chance he gets. And recently, Ethan was on Bradley Martin, his podcast, The Raw Talk or some shit, with Steiny. And those two are really good friends with Sneako. So Ethan gets on there, he starts talking a bunch of shit to the point to where they FaceTime with Sneako so that Sneako has a chance to defend himself, and Ethan kind of makes him look like an asshole. And I'm not gonna lie, in this run-in, Sneako's fan looks like an asshole. I was kind of reserving this segment for like L's for Ethan, but he kind of handles this situation the way that you kind of should, because you can see right from the rip. So this Sneako fan is like completely unhinged. This guy, for one, you shouldn't be running up to people's cars and shit like that. Just willy-nilly, just talking shit, you know what I mean? That's very immature. Not the right way to talk shit. If you want to talk shit, do it online like I'm doing. You know what I mean? Not any more mature, but a little more productive, if you will. You know what I mean? So I wanted to get into this clip with you guys so that we could really see what it's all about, you know? And kind of see Ethan get a little bit of a taste of his own medicine when it comes to somebody's fan base being weaponized against somebody else. Let's give this a listen. Let's make sure the volume's good. Okay, here we go.
I was just curious, how come you don't like Sneeko?
Oh, he's a piece of shit. You like him?
Yes. How come you don't like Palestine?
I like Palestine.
No, you don't.
Why do you say that?
Because, bro, you're... wasn't she in the IDF?
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that. Wasn't she in the IDF? People like to bring this up about Gila, but they always bring it up for the wrong reasons. I'm going to tell you why you really should be concerned about her time in the IDF in a little bit. But people always like to bring it up like generalizing it. Oh, you were in the IDF, as if people had a choice. They don't. Ethan brings that up here. He says, oh, it was mandatory service. You know what I mean? She had to do it. Once again, there are other reasons to talk about why she was in the IDF that we'll get into in a second. But I want you to look at Ethan's face right now. He looks very like in the middle. Like he looks like fucking crazy right here. You know what I mean? Like he's getting ready to really come unhinged. And Gila looks like she's egging it on. She really is like the puppet master behind this guy. You know what I mean? But let's go back a little bit and check out this interaction initiate again. Ethan's face looks so depraved. He looks like a psychopath. It's insane, dude. And the way he's clacking the gum with his jaw. You see a guy who's chewing his gum like this, you cannot trust a guy who's chewing his gum like this, I'm telling you. It's very tense, you know what I mean? The reason why a guy's chewing his gum like that, with his jaw clenched, you know, with the muscles right next to the ears, clenching up like that, is because this guy's probably got so much shit going on in his life, so much tension, stress, or guilt, that if he wasn't chewing that gum, he'd be grinding his teeth down to fucking nothing. So to me, that's a very bad sign. You see somebody chewing some gum like this. So let's check out this shit. Ethan looks insane.
I was just curious, how come you don't like Sneeko?
Oh, he's a piece of shit. You like him?
Yes. How come you don't like Palestine?
I like Palestine.
No, you don't.
Why do you say that?
Because, bro, you're...
He starts clacking his gums even faster. Why do you say that? Now he's about to get real ramped up. You see him, he's going to step up in the seat. He's going to be like, I'm about to give this guy a viral fucking moment that he's never going to forget. By just handling it like a gentleman, I guess. I don't know.
Wasn't she in the IDF?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
Mandatory service.
That's
She's born there.
sad. That's terrorism, bro.
She was born there.
See, this is what I'm talking about, though, with this Sneeko fucking idiot right here. The whole it was terrorism thing, that's a little stupid. You know, mandatory service, I mean, so what, are you just going to call all of them terrorists? Like, you got to do it if you're a citizen there. It's not like here in America where you have a choice, you know. You could choose to be a military fucking beefcake, idiot, musclehead, whatever you want to call him, here in America. Where Gila was born, you don't have that choice, right? So to be like, oh, you're all terrorists or whatever, that's a little fucked up. You know, a lot of them, they get office and administrative work. But Gila didn't. Like I said, more on that later. But yeah, see, so Ethan, he's actually kind of handling this like a gentleman. He's like, you know, it was mandatory service. Like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? But this guy, once again, a Sneeko fan, these Sneeko fans are not very bright. He's handling this like a complete jackass. Watch this.
That's sad. I feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist, bro.
Look in the fucking...
You look like a fucking rapist, Ethan.
I love that. He's like, you look like a rapist, Ethan. You look like a rapist. Oh, my God. Now, the funny thing about this is they end up talking about this on the H3 show, which we're not going to get into. And when they do talk about it, oddly enough, they bring this guy's Instagram page up, and this guy looks like more of a pedophile than Ethan ever would. So that I thought that was just funny as hell, that it's the pot calling the kettle black, like you would not believe. You know, it's very interesting. Now, let me give you my insight as to why people should talk about Gila's time in the IDF. instead of sitting there saying like, oh, you were in the IDF, you're a terrorist. Everyone that's in Israel has had to do the IDF thing. You know what I mean? As soon as you're 18 or whatever the legal age is, they make you do it. So to sit there and say that, it's a very weak ass point. And like I said before, a lot of these people that are going in there, they're getting like office administrative work. You know, it's not like they're all out there raiding Palestinian villages and you know, offing children and fucking people's lives up. It's not all of them. You know, a lot of these people, they go in, they do some secretary work, 9 to 5 for their service term. Then they just move on with their lives. They ship a new group of 18-year-olds in to rinse, wash, and repeat, whatever you want to call it. Here's why Gila's situation is a little bit different. I found this in the H3 Snark subreddit, which I'm a little disappointed in these guys. You know what I mean? Because we were starting to form a little bit of a bond, you know? I came across the H3 subreddit, the Stark subreddit. I was really digging the fact that they were shitting on Ethan. I was getting ready to cover Ethan, so I was finding a lot of good juice in there. We were starting to form a little bit of a symbiotic relationship, I thought, you know? I was posting my clips on there. They were very responsive. They were posting my clips. I was digging it. The mod team was reaching out. You ever need an H3 clip? You let us know, champ. We got you. And I was loving it. I ended up posting that clip that we just went over now. They ended up locking it, putting a disclaimer on it, talking. I was like, whoa, nobody can comment or like on this thing? Like, we need to spread this thing around. What's going on? They didn't even talk to me about it. They completely locked the post up. They put it not safe for work. You scroll through the subreddit, it's fucking blurry. You can't even see it unless you click on it. Come on, guys. What are we doing? I thought we were all just talking shit on H3. What's going on? You really, you didn't, I'm not mad. Just a little disappointed. But anyway, I got this one post from that H3 Snark subreddit. And in the post, there was a video. And the video had talked about Gila's time in the IDF and how she makes it out to seem like she didn't really have like all that crazy of a role in there, and how like her time was innocent, maybe office administrative, just like I explained. But then you watch this clip that this person posted, and Gila and Ethan are kind of talking a different game. Like, they're talking as if Gila didn't like the office administrative work and ended up opting in to change her job to get something a little more exciting. Maybe like raiding Palestinian villages and offing kids or something. I don't know. You know, so let's check out the clip and you can hear it straight from their mouths. This is actually kind of rich, you know what I mean? If I have to say so myself. Let me make sure the captions are off because I hate captions with a passion.
I don't even frankly know what they're referencing here, but people take it for granted without even clicking it.
I guess.
But I do remember what Hila said. It's that she wanted to switch. She was bored at her first outpost.
Ooh, now listen to that. She was bored at her first outpost. Now watch what this clipper ends up doing right here. They point out a very interesting fact. Watch what happens with Gila's facial expression right here. Watch this. Look at that. Now, if I could just go back, let me see. Does this thing do the, it doesn't do seconds. Does it? No, it doesn't go by seconds. All right, I'm going to do this by scrolling. Look at the side eye that she gives Ethan right after he says that. It's insane. You see that side eye? As soon as he says to the audience, oh, well, she was a little bored with her first outpost. She gives him this side eye like, you motherfucker, bro. We're live right now. You cannot say this stuff on live. You're going to out me in front of like 40,000 people. Then another 250,000 are going to see the clip. We can't do this, Ethan. You're fucking my whole shit up. So now she's starting to get worried about this live stream, right? Now this clipper goes in to do the justice. Watch this.
A few moments later.
So they claim that she thought it was too boring and she wanted to do something more exciting. So she wanted to be placed with the brigade. So that already is insanely bad faith framing, which everybody takes for granted.
Now, this is interesting. Ethan's talking about the same thing I'm talking about. He's saying everyone in this H3 Snark subreddit are talking about how Gila lied in her role in the IDF, how they're making it seem like she wanted to go out on raids and different things like that. And basically what people are doing, it's bad faith framing. Like, they're framing Gila to look like a bad person. They're doing it in bad faith. But really, they're just kind of taking the stuff that you said and putting some dots together, really, is all they're doing. I mean, if the desk job was too boring for you, what other job could you want that's a little more exciting? Maybe something that has to do with this? I don't know. We'll find out later. So I find this to be very odd right here that they're talking about this as if they did not say the things that they said. Now, they're going to bring up a link that's in this post that they're going over that has an unedited podcast clip of Gila talking about exactly this. Let's give it a listen.
They didn't even click the link as far as I could tell.
There you go.
So my job was to, like, when they send officers or like people to go serve, I had to like logistically help with like their hotel or a room, things like that. But it was all on the computer. It just felt like some computer thing.
Right. Okay. So it's secretary.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it was super boring, and I really hated it. Because it was just like I had to take a bus super early, go there, spend the whole day, go back home. I hated it.
Okay, so now Gila's talking about how boring her role was. Basically saying anytime they sent somebody to like the town that we were in that was like part of the higher ups, I had to find their hotel rooms. I had to make accommodations for them. I had to do all the booking. I had to do all the computer work, all the talking to everybody, setting up their cars, everything like that, logistically, the whole nine. It was boring as hell. She had to take a long bus ride, spend the whole day at work in the office, doing whatever, taking a long bus ride home, and then doing the same thing all over again the next day. It wasn't for her. Now, listen, she talks about the same thing that a lot of people are accusing her of, that she changed her role for something a little more exciting. What other jobs are there out there? I mean, you could be a medic, but if she was a medic, trust me, they'd be bragging about it, okay? They wouldn't be sitting here, like, just leaving it so nonchalantly, like, nah, I just changed my role for something a little more exciting. The way these two virtues signal, if she was a medic or something, they'd be patting themselves on the back over it. They'd be excited. They'd be chomping at the bit to brag to you about that. So the fact that they're keeping it a little more vague, that's what people are bringing up. That's what people harp on. They go, well, what was it? Why won't you talk about it? You know what I mean? There has to be something there. Listen to this.
So I tried to change my role. And it was something like you can apply for it, and it's a form that you fill out, and then they're going to give you something else, completely random. You have
Different
no
position.
idea.
Different post.
Yeah.
Different location.
So I decided to do that, and if I don't like the second one, then I'll just find a way to get out of the army.
It was that bad?
Yeah, I just didn't. I hated everything about it. Didn't want to do it.
So, I mean, you hate office work that much that you got to figure out a way to like fucking be out there in the field with the commandos, you know what I mean? I find that a little sus, you know, so let's give a round of applause to H3, and that'll be the end of our first segment that we have called What's Eating Ethan Klein. Stop back in next week and we'll jump back in and talk about Ethan Klein a little more. What I want to get into next is this Nikocado avocado fucking guy. All right. This guy, like, he really pulled a 180 on everybody online. You know, he really like pulled the rug out from everybody. If you're not familiar with this guy's content, he does these mukbangs, right? If a mukbang is basically where somebody takes a camera real up close, right? And they get a real good microphone, they crank that bitch to 11, you know? Normal microphones, they only go up to 10. But this one goes to 11. So then they get a real ASMR vibe going, and they start chomping into the mic or whatever, and you're just watching them eat. For some reason, people find these videos like soothing or some shit. I find these to be the most cringe shit on the planet. If it was up to me, you just delete the whole genre. You know what I mean? Get it off the internet. But this guy became real famous on these mukbangs for like a different reason. He just like wasn't the best mukbanger. You know what I mean? He wasn't the best at eating food on camera. He was also like doing real outlandish things, screaming into the camera, acting real odd. He had his pets involved. He started getting really, really fat and really unhealthy to the point to where this guy was like shitting his pants on camera. He's just like the pure definition of like an internet slob, right? And this went on for like 8 years. But this dude was getting fucking paid. I'm going to tell you. He had like, if I had to guess, I'd say this guy has close to like 100 million followers on all his platforms if you combine them all. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe like 50 million. That's still big numbers. That's nothing to snark at, right? So people are like watching this guy just degenerate into this fat, fucking crazy slob. Or so they thought. Now we're cooking. So, this guy just one day posts a video and he's like 135 pounds. Like, how the fuck does that happen? You know? Was he banking content? Was he, or did he film the skinny shit first? You know, was he that much ahead of the game? I don't know. People online are really starting to speculate. They're saying like, yo, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. This guy came up with like the craziest psyop that the internet has ever seen. And after we get into these time codes, I'm going to tell you, it's not, okay? It's not a crazy psyop. This guy, he's just crazy. That's it. It's not a psyop. This guy is just fucking insane. So let's get into some of these time codes. And just so we could get a sense of like what this guy is now, and then I'm gonna show you what this guy was before, because this is like psychopath behavior right here. Watch this shit. So let's start with the intro. The intro, I even got like, this is like some super villain shit. Listen to this guy talk.
2 steps ahead. I am always 2 steps ahead. This has been the greatest social experiment of my entire life. It's alluring, it's compelling, it's gripping to observe all these unwell, disoriented beings roam the internet.
Okay, now what we have here is some delusional shit. Like, so now he's trying to sit there and say, like, I'm always 2 steps ahead. I'm 2 steps ahead. This has been the greatest social experiment of my life. To become the fattest fucking crazy slob that the internet has ever seen and shit my pants and do all this outlandish shit to, like, completely defile myself online and watch you all just eat it all up. That's I'm super villain-esque right here. This is... Dr. Doom couldn't come up with a better plan than this, okay? So this is basically what he's getting at here. Now, my question to you is, do you believe him? But as a matter of fact, oh my God, I almost forgot. So I got like this super villain music queued up for this. This is actually insane. We're going to start over from the beginning. This cues up so fucking well. Listen to this. He actually might be a supervillain. I don't know.
2 steps ahead. I am always 2 steps ahead.
Ooh.
This has been the greatest social experiment of my entire life. It's alluring, it's compelling, it's gripping to observe all these unwell, disoriented beings roam the internet in search of stories, ideas, rivalries.
So you see, this is like, he actually does kind of have like a little bit of like a villain vibe here, you know? Like, this is actually a little scary listening to him talk about this, because he could have came up with this plan, right, to do all this. But this is why none of it makes sense to me, is because if you want to psyop the internet, why risk your health at such great lengths to do it? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, this guy was probably like borderline liver failure. Like, he was really if you're eating to the point to where like you cannot control your bowels, something on the inside of you is not right. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's like your body telling you, like, I don't know what's going on the outside, but we can't do this shit no more. You know? Like, if you're eating and it's immediately coming out, that's your body telling you this is no good. Whatever you're putting in here, it's not doing us any favors, bro. So if you could please just get back to the shit that will do us some solid, some solid shits, then we would thank you for it. But now let's get back to this super villain intro. Listen to this.
Where they feel encouraged and engaged, where they involve themselves with the stories and become a product of influence. Thirsty for a distraction from time unspent, spoiling their minds, yet stimulating them at the same time. It's brilliant, and it's dangerous. I feel as if I'm monitoring ants on an ant farm. One follows another, follows another, follows another. It's mesmerizing.
So now, I'm telling you, he actually might be, I might be wrong about him. Now that I'm watching it with the music and stuff like that, and you got the creepy music going, he might actually be a fucking supervillain. This is scary to think about. Somebody put that much premeditation into this just to make themselves look like an asshole. Like, at the end of the day, you still look like a crazy fucking creep that people, we're all still going to make fun of you online, Nick. So we're rooting for your health. Nobody wants to see you die, but you got to stop acting so fucking crazy, bro. This shit is out of this world, man. Let's get back to this. This is jarring, this intro. Listen to this.
Spellbinding. All these little consumers, all of these lost and bored.
So now he's saying that all of us, we're just ants to him. He's just watching us. You know what I mean? We're just chomping at the bit to consume his content and watch him ruin his life. And he's been 2 steps ahead of us the entire time. It's all been part of his diabolical scheme to do what? That's the reason why none of this makes sense to me. To do what? What's the big tell here? I have no idea. You still look like a schmuck, but let's go on.
People consuming anything that they're told to consume. So I am the villain.
Oh, look at that. Hold up, pause the music. Whoa. Dude, he somehow has gotten uglier. Look at this motherfucker. Holy shit. He looks like a mix of like Drake and Master Splinter. He looks insane, dude. I have to know how he did it. I gotta know his routine. What is that? Ozempic mixed with a little bit of heroin? How did we do it? He's got he looks malnourished. Like, he looks better, I guess. I don't know. He kind of looks worse to me. He looks crazy. I'm telling you guys right now. This guy went from 250 all round. You know what I mean? Like, you could have rolled this guy down the street easy. And now he's as skinny as a toothpick. It's actually mind-boggling to see. He kind of looks like a little bit of a discount Drake. This is Drake off of Wish right here. And this is like an album cover. This is like a wannabe Drake album cover right here. I'm in love. Let's listen to this guy finish out this villainous intro.
Because I've made myself one. And you will continue to consume these stories about me year after year after year. For as long as I tell the internet that I am the villain, stories that permeate and linger and infect the minds of the ants, influence the ants, brainwash the ants. You are the ants.
Look at this fucking guy. This is so creepy, dude. Look at his face. Look at his face. If you're just listening at home, he's doing one of these, like, you know, when somebody, they kind of tuck their chin towards their chest a little bit, but they stare up at you. You know what I mean? They have that real evil, villainous stare. That's what he's doing right here. And it's fucking terrifying. I'm not going to lie. Nikocado Avocado, he might be the Dr. Doom of YouTube. I mean, I'm serious with this. He might be an actual villain. Like, that's truly scary. You know what I mean? It's terrifying to watch. Like, I don't know. I'm almost flabbergasted at this. Now let's watch what this is going to turn into, because here's my thing. If this is all psyop and you're like, oh man, now I'm healthy, why are you doing the same content? He's skinny. He's got this new lease on life. You figure, okay, now it's time to start making like some like vlog content, some like feel good stuff, you know, day in the life. This is my healthy journey. Maybe let's turn this thing around on the positive, right? You know, you fooled us. Great. But he doesn't. He goes on to make the same kind of mukbang content. This guy eats like 36 pounds of noodles on camera right now. We're about to witness this guy fall right back into degeneracy. Watch this.
Mr. Noodle, you're so cute. Oh, you're so... Yeah.
Okay, so now this guy, he's simping over his parrot, right? And the reason why I'm like even bringing this time code up and saying like, what the fuck is this here, is because this isn't normal Nikocado Avocado. Normally this guy would be screaming into the camera. Like, he does this thing where he goes like, ah, at like random times. He'll just scream like that. You know, he's very loud, very obnoxious. He's like farting the whole time. So to see him nice and somber like this and really schmoozing up his parrot, it's a little unsettling. It kind of makes me wonder, like, what's actually going through this maniac's mind?
Oh, you're so cute. Yeah. You like that. You look like a big green ball.
So to listen to him talking like this, like all somber like this and stuff, is very weird. Like, it's almost the makings of a psychopath, right? And now, you see, the reason why I keep calling him a psychopath is because he shifts. He constantly shifts. He's like a chameleon. You know, even in this video right here, we just got done watching the most villainous fucking speech I've ever heard. You know, like I said, Dr. Doom, he's got nothing on this guy. And that guy killed the Avengers. You know what I mean? So this is saying a lot. And then now you cut to this, and this guy's like nice and somber. He's fucking French kissing his parrot on the camera, as quiet as can be. You know, he's being really, really nice. He's got this nice little plate set up for his noodles, and he's about to start talking about how all the past 8 years, all that eating and crazy shit that he did to himself, all the nasty stuff that he posted online, it was all just a dream. You know what I mean? It was all just a dream. And that's why I say, These are the makings of a psychopath. Look at this guy.
We're home. Hello. We're back home. Shooby-doo. And I'm back here with all of you. And it was a long 8 years, wasn't it? It was a long 8 years. And I didn't think that it would have gone this long, but it did. And it was like a bad dream that, yeah, it was like a really bad dream that we were waiting for it to be over. And
So now this right here, more psychopath, sociopath shit, you know, all the paths, whatever path you wanted to call it, this is it. I will be editing out that cough. So now this is another switch. Now he's going from being like somber and quiet. Now he's getting emotional, talking about how this was just a bad dream, how now he's skinny and we're here. We're at this present day moment and we should live in this moment and we should cherish it for what it is. He's almost fucking bursting out into tears. Get this guy the fuck off my screen. So he's sitting there once again switching. And like I said, if you're this emotional about it, why are we jumping right back into the same kind of content? It doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense to me. It's like crying over something that you did to yourself. It's like someone telling you not to put your hand in a fire because you'll burn yourself, and then you do it, and now you're crying about the fact that you burned yourself. You did it to yourself.
it's over. It was just a dream. It was just a dream, Mr. Noodle, wasn't it? Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this Mr. Noodle, he's got to fucking go. You got to get this fucking parrot away from this plate of food. Because when I show you what this about to happen right here, this shit is insane. This guy busts out the plate of noodles. The parrot starts eating the noodles. This is insane. Watch this.
That noodle. What's that?
No.
So you get a taste test before I do.
No. Somebody get that fucking bird out of here. You cannot have this nasty beak all over your fucking crazy ass noodles. And I don't even know what are these noodles even covered in. You know, he calls them spicy black bean noodles. It looks like noodles covered in shit. Okay? No amount of green onions is going to make this look appetizing. You know, and the sesame seeds, not doing you any favors. Now you mix in all this bacteria from your parrot's schnoz while he's getting a nice little fucking mouthful of them noodles. You really got a recipe for gut disaster, my friend. I'm telling you, you're walking you're dancing a dangerous dance here. I don't think you're equipped to handle it.
This is like kind of not fair. Oh, Mr. Noodle.
Oh, and he's just like okay with that. Like, you cannot be letting if you let your animal eat food with you like that, we cannot be friends. We can't be friends. I'm sorry. I love my cat. I give my cat he wants to eat it, I'm gonna let him eat it. He can't eat it off my plate. What is this? You know, this guy licks his own ass. Like, so we can't, who knows what that parrot's doing? You know, birds always struck me as kind of, you know, off a little bit. Like, you could at least eat a steak mid-rare. You know, you can't eat uncooked chicken. So I always been sus about these fowls, you know, these birds. This guy is just letting this bird eat away at these noodles. The shit's not right. So he ends up giving the bird his own plate. The bird has this nice little plate of like mushed peas or some shit. And now this guy's about to really dig into these noodles. And I'm telling you, it gets pretty scary. Like, I'm going to warn you guys now. What you're about to see and hear is not for the faint of heart. Okay? This is going to be something that even the strongest of men harrow at. You know what I mean? They really like shrink in fear when watching something like this transpire on their computer screens. So be warned, you will hear mouth noises and you will hear slurpy noodles and you will see this man almost like reverse back into the same degeneracy from which he just freed himself from. Watch this. It's truly, truly terrifying.
Cheers, everybody, to a new era.
Oh.
We were all just dreaming.
Oh.
Cheers.
Oh, the fucking slurping, and it's so disgusting. Oh, it's so disgusting. I almost can't even handle it. This kind of content, it's just, I almost could never get into it. Now watch, we're about to go into the next one. This guy's about to take a big bite. I'm gonna slow it down because that's gonna really show you, the lunacy here and how scary this actually is. Watch this.
Cheers.
Oh. Oh.
Wanna try some?
Did you hear that? He goes, wanna try some? Oh my god, that is fucking disgusting. Oh, that is so gross. That is so gross. Dude, we're gonna listen to that one more. Well, listen, we don't have to, if you want, turn down the volume if you're watching, you know what I mean? Watch it, the way he says this. You want some? You want some? It's so disgusting. I cannot believe that this is
Cheers.
real. Watch this. Oh.
Wanna try some? Wanna try some?
Oh, what is this face? What is this face, dude? He's still just as deranged as he always was. All the black stuff all over his lips, the fucking nasty shit from the noodles. This guy I'm telling you, I give it 6 months. I give it 6 months, and Nikocado Avocado is right back to where we started from. Honestly, it wouldn't even surprise me if this was just like a video he recorded 8 years ago, and he's still just a fat fuck. Now, more on that conspiracy in a second, because there are some more TikToks and stuff like that this guy's putting out to kind of debunk that thought. Now, we'll get on that in a little bit. Look at this guy. You saw how big that plate of noodles was. He finishes the whole fucking thing. Look at the face on this guy. He's struggling. All the sodium and like the gluten or the rice or whatever it is from the noodles all sitting in his stomach, He was talking about how chewy those noodles were in the video. So, they're sitting in the bottom of his stomach. It's like a rock. Picture when that stuff gets in you and it starts digesting, it's like you have a giant ball of pizza dough in your stomach, just filling up your whole stomach. This guy's heart is working double time. The fact that he's skinny might not even be helping his insides. And watch, he just got done finishing this whole plate.
Thanks for watching my black bean noodle mukbang, and I hope you enjoyed your food if you ate with me, which you should have, because that's what mukbang is supposed to be.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you are eating during these videos, you're on a different level of crazy. That they should just lock you up for doing that, period. A maximum security, the whole nine. You should be not even allowed near the murderers, because that's the level of psychopathy that you have to eat while watching a video like this and listening to all those noises, it's listening to people's mouth noises close up in a microphone. That's a big no-no, my friend. So The fact that people would eat while this is happening, it's insanity.
That's what it was originally for, and that's what I'm trying to bring back to the internet.
Disgusting.
And I love being a mukbanger. I love food. I like eating food. And I like being here. So let me know what you think. I guess that's it. Bye!
Once again, here's the thing. How is this going to be conducive? How are we going to make this work, Nikocado? That's my big question. Like, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. If you're going to lose the weight, the mukbang content, you're just going to get right back. Is that going to be another Psyop? Is it going to be, you're going to do it again for 8 years and then lose all the weight all crazy again and be like, I got you guys again, fooled ya. I don't think that's how it works, my friend. You got to stop being, like, you might have lost the weight, but on the inside, you're still a fat fucking slob. You need therapy, my friend. You need therapy. Now, like I said, a lot of people have been almost like speculating that he might have, done this as a one-off video. That he ended up maybe filming it a long time ago, and he just posted this, and now he's still fat. Because the whole time leading up until this post, he had posts that where he was still fat. Like, I think I had watched something where they were saying like just 3 days before he posted the video we just watched, he had posted something else on one of his channels and he was still huge. So that either goes to show you he either banked up on the big content while he was losing weight, or he filmed himself while he was skinny and he's still a fat fuck. But now he's starting to post content to kind of like try to debunk those thoughts with people. And I'll show you right now. This content is almost just as scary as the mukbang stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. I don't know why this thing just went to floating player. We cannot do that. I want to full screen it. Okay, thank you. So now he's posting this new content. It's probably more scary than what we just watched. Watch the level of insanity this guy has decided to bring himself to become relevant again in the eyes of the people. Look at this. So this is not good for anybody who's just listening. He's basically on an escalator and he's just dancing. Like, you remember how when TikTok first started and people were like, nah, man, TikTok's fucking gay, dude. It's all just like little kids dancing. He's kind of doing that. Like, the same shit that people made fun of TikTok for before it became like cool is what he's doing now. So it's like, I don't know. It's hard to get a read on this guy. Like, he must have, I bet psychologist YouTubers are like fucking killing themselves trying to do the research to make a video about this guy. Cause they're going to be doing all sorts of shit like that. You know how like when like a crazy like lawsuit happens or something, you get those like lawyer YouTubers that'll come out of the woodwork and they'll be like, this is why the lawsuit is it's a no-go, or this is why P. Diddy's going to end up getting convicted on all charges. They end up posting the video. It gets like 24 million fucking views. Everybody fucking loves it. Psychologists and stuff, they do the same shit. When celebrities are going crazy, they make the same kinds of videos. So I could only imagine the mental gymnastics they're going through trying to figure this guy out. Like, this is insane. Look at this. Now he's dancing in front of like some convention center or something. No music. And he's just looking absolutely insane. Like, he's doing a dance that I would imagine if like there should be like K-pop music behind it. You know what I mean? That's what I picture when I see a video like this. Like, there should be like some, you know what I mean? Something like that. But he's doing it to no music. This guy is insane. You know what I mean? So now let's go. This is what he is now. If you're not familiar with what this guy used to be, I'll fill you in because it's fucking crazy. So like I said earlier, it was very shocking to see this new Nikocado for a multitude of reasons. Not just for the fact that he was skinny, but he was acting completely off character. This is not the same guy that I've seen. And I'm going to tell you right now, before watching that video of him being skinny eating, I'd never watched a mukbang video of this guy. I had seen like TikToks. He did like collabs with like Oompaville and shit. Like, so I had seen him from like other people's stuff. Small doses. I seen this guy. But when I saw this skinny shit and how he's trying to frame it like he's some mastermind, I had to, dig into it. And then from there, I started seeing compilations of the way this guy used to act. I'm going to tell you right now, this is like a total 180 on the behavior side. He's still doing the same shit on the eating side. But why is he calmed down so much? What's happening here? What's the big psyop if you've already imprinted this image of yourself to us online? What now do you have that's like the big reveal is my question. Like, this is literally just a compilation of him shitting his pants, okay? If you have that much content of you just doing that and other disgusting stuff, like what was the big plan? You know what I mean? To completely defile yourself online and then come out and be like, I was actually never that person. Well, he still view you that way, bud. Look at this compilation. You see the way he's acting? Skittish.
Nothing came out.
He's like a fat squirrel.
Close it, keep it closed. Oh. Oh. I'm squeezing. Oh.
This guy is literally shitting himself online. This is crazy, bro. And like, okay, was it an accident? Did it only happen once? No. Oh, dude, this is disgusting. And then look, see, this is what I'm talking about. He used to do this kind of stuff and then smile about it. This guy, he's always had this. My suspicion is that he was always this disgusting fuck. And now that after getting famous and rich online, he maybe came across like some sort of epiphany. And he was like, man, is this really the right track? Do I really want to be known for this as I get into like my 30s and then my 40s and my 50s? You know what I mean? If I even make it that far. I'm already pushing 350. Like, you don't see too many super old people who are fat. You see tons of old people smoking cigarettes, though. Isn't that crazy? Right? How that works? How eating yourself to this degree is that much unhealthier for you. Isn't that crazy? So maybe he had some sort of like epiphany. And he was like, what could I do to make it seem like I never wanted to be this person? What can I do to kind of save face? Because I've been stuck in this like depressing eating like black hole where I've just been like not doing any kind of work on like myself as a person or trying to like better myself in any way. And I happen to find a sliver of success in it. So I stretch that to the furthest degree I possibly could. And now I'm kind of feeling like it might leave a stain on my legacy. So what can I do to fix that in the eyes of the public? Oh, I know. I'll make it seem like this was my plan all along. And like you, the viewer, are the fucking idiot for believing it all along. No, that's not how, at least in my mind, that's not how it works. You've always been this fat fuck. And just telling by the behavior that you're displaying in this one new video, you're always going to be this fat fuck. So don't try to sit there and pass the buck onto us, the viewer, for, taking part in watching your downfall. And that's You know how when people watch NASCAR, the whole time they're just like waiting for a car crash to happen? That's what we're doing. We're waiting for you to take a bite of this Big Mac, and that's the one that does you in. That's what we're waiting on, okay? So don't try to play this on us. Look at this degenerate. This one's bad, dude. This is disgusting. Look at this. No, this is all part of the psyop. I have a shit stain in my bed with my gay lover sleeping next to me, only a foot away. I'm going to post this on YouTube. This is all part of the psyop. You're the idiot. You, the audience, you're the fucking idiot. The audience member's the idiot, not me. You know what? I'm the greatest. You know, I'm going to take over the world with this shit. This is like the most backward shit I've ever heard of, but I mean, I that's just Nikocado Avocado. I mean, what are we going to do? Let's give it up for him. Let's give it up for our new Jamoke, Nikocado Avocado. I'm definitely going to be keeping tabs on this guy for a little bit because he is fucking losing his way. And I'm telling you, like I said, I give it 6 months, and this guy is going to be 350 plus all over again. So let's get back into some music. Let's finish out that J and have a little bit of a smoke break, and maybe we'll talk about some Brad Williams.
It's a trap. 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 It's a trap.
You better watch out. You better watch out. You better watch out. You'll soon find out, no doubt. You better watch out. You better watch out.
Oh.
You better watch out. You'll soon find out, no doubt. Don't you fall in love. Don't you waste your time. She'll take all your money, won't leave you with a dime. Tell you you're the one, then tell you never mind. Yeah, that girl look good. Yeah, I know she fine, but
It's a trap.
Ooh. Is it a trap? Was that girl a trap? Oh, man. All right. So now we're going to get into Sir Bradley Hall. Or no, Bradley Hall. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Ethan Klein. We're going to get into Brad Williams. Now, Brad Williams, if you're not familiar with Brad Williams, he's like a midget comedian. He's a small guy. He's like the quote-unquote funny version of Peter Dinklage, if you will. I don't think he's that funny, to be honest. I never thought this guy was that funny. He does a lot of like self-deprecating humor, which can be funny, but if the whole thing is just about you being a midget, I mean, you got to diversify, my friend. So, if you remember in the intro, I was telling you how this guy ended up banning me on Twitter. Now, do you think as a listener, you're like, well, you're just a nobody, right? I'm just a nobody. I'm very, very small channel, very small show. So what could I have possibly done to get a guy like Brad Williams to ban me on Twitter? Well, I'll tell you. So, when Brad used to be an actually, let's start with the actual post, right? So, I ended up posting something on Twitter. Bradley, at some point, posted a picture of him and some girl. It was like a female comedian. And in that picture, which you can't see in this Twitter post, he had captioned it like, guess what me and her did, or something like that. You know, one of them engagement farm posts. So my answer to that question was, I quoted the tweet, I retweeted it, and I put, did you pull the old switcheroo on her like you did with Carlos Mencia? Now, I had posted that. I let a couple days go by. I didn't think anything of it. I was scrolling through my Twitter feed, like kind of just seeing like my posts that I had posted through the week, kind of reviewing my work, if you will. And I had noticed on that post in particular, it had said, you're unable to view this post, the one that I had retweeted, because this account owner limits who can view their posts. So that got me curious because I don't even remember. I was like, who was it? And then I saw the caption that I had put, the old switcheroo, and I go, oh, that's Brad Williams. So I go to end up searching for Brad Williams on Twitter, and I find no results, right? So then I go on Google. I type in Brad Williams. I try to find his Twitter page on Google, and when I come across it, which I will do right now, I click the link, and it says you're blocked. Look at this bullshit. So I come to find out that Brad had saw my retweet of me asking him if he pulled that switcheroo on that girl, and he didn't like that. He didn't like that so much to the point to where he blocked me. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why would he block you over that? Maybe you're asking yourself, what's this switcheroo that you're talking about, right? Let's have a little bit of a story time having to do with Brad. So, if you remember back in like the 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s-ish, there was a show called Mind of Mencia. There's a comedian who was very big back then called Carlos Mencia, now known for stealing a lot of jokes from a lot of different people. But back then, before he got outed, the guy was popping. I mean, everybody wanted a piece of him. So he had a very big show on Comedy Central called Mind of Mencia. On the show, they had a midget. That midget's name was Brad Williams. And he did a lot of different skits. They almost tried to make him like a Andy Milonakis from The Man Show, but he was like on Mind of Mencia, you know? So through that, Brad, he starts forming a relationship with Carlos, and they're both comedians. So Brad starts opening for Carlos. He opened for him for like 4 years. Now, in that time, they're spending a lot of time together. They're getting very chummy with each other, pulling pranks on each other probably, seeing who could get one off on the other one. Oh, let's prank this guy. Oh, Brad, I'm going to prank Carlos, blah, blah, blah. They're getting very chummy, very comfortable with each other. Now, they're spending a lot of time on that tour bus, right? So there's this one night, apparently, Carlos gets off the tour bus and all these girls, they're waiting. They're lining up to try to meet him, to try to maybe potentially get on that bus. So now Carlos, apparently that night, he wasn't feeling it. He wanted to just go to bed. And, he wasn't feeling getting freaky with some random, you know what I mean? But Brad, he wants to climb up that leg and get up that skirt, you know what I mean? So he's like, no, we got to do something. So in the story that Brad tells with his own mouth, they got a girl to come on the bus. They somehow made this girl think that she was having sex with Carlos. And then they pulled the old switcheroo, like I said in my Twitter post, and then Brad jumped in. Now, if you're somebody with half a brain, you already know that that's fucking rape, brother. But Brad was telling this story on a show, back before the cancel culture days. This is like early 2000s. People weren't canceling each other over shit like this. You guys remember Opie and Anthony, Howard Stern. These guys were all saying the craziest shit online. You could not say half of the shit they say now. Anywhere in a public forum, But Brad's telling this story on this show during that time period where he didn't think anything would come of it. Then cancel culture starts happening. People start getting Me Too'd. And clips like this start resurfacing online. But maybe Brad thought that everybody forgot about him. I didn't forget about it. So I'm going to play this clip for you right here. We're going to hear Brad tell this story himself. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's pretty disturbing.
At Phil Vox wants to know, what's the weirdest Carlos Mencia story you've got?
Oh, okay. So, I was Mencia's opener for 4 years.
Ooh, look at that. So this is a show, called Getting Doug with High. If you guys remember, there was a dude named Doug Benson. He had a show called he had a documentary called Super High Me. He's a very funny comedian. He's done a lot of stuff, but his big shtick is he gets high as fuck. So he had started a podcast back in the day. I wonder whatever happened to it. I wish it was still around. Where it was called Getting Doug with High. You just sit around with them, get blazed as fuck, and just talk a bunch of shit. So you can see right here, they got a bong. It's as tall as Brad. They're passing that bitch around. There's bowls all over the table. The other co-host has got a bowl. He's ripping the fuck out of that thing. And they got this cue card. It's a question from a fan. Doug asks, what's the weirdest Carlos Mencia story you got? Now, if you're Brad, you could say anything. You could say, like, man, one time we pulled a prank. We, like, farted on some guy's face while you sleep. Anything. You could say whatever. You know? He decides to tell a story about him borderline raping a woman. Let's hear the rest of it.
And
do you guys still get along? Are you friendly?
Yeah, we're friends.
So you can say something weird that happened with him that he wouldn't be offended?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, holy shit, man. I couldn't write this better myself. Doug's even asking him. Doug doesn't even know what the story's going to be. Doug is asking him, you got a story? You and Carlos are still cool? You still want to tell this story about him? Whatever it is it's going to be cool that you tell this, you know? This is public. I'm going to post it. I'm not editing this shit out. So I'm going to give, right there, he's giving Brad an out. Brad still decides to tell this story. What the fuck is this?
Okay, go.
We were on a tour bus together, and he got this girl was like on the bus and just really wanted to sleep with Carlos, and was in the back of got on the bus, actually blew our driver to get on the bus, and then was...
Who are you, Kiss?
So now, this is very, very telling here. This woman is obviously, she's desperate to do anything to meet Carlos. This is who this girl thinks that she's about to see. According to Brad, this girl wanted to see Carlos so bad, she was willing to blow his fucking fat, retarded driver. That's saying a lot. That you really want to meet this guy. So to have this little man pull that kind of shit on you, it probably ruined this woman's life. Listen to this.
Apparently, she was in the back
That is
waiting.
sexy driver.
I tour with the wrong people. Nobody's getting blown.
So she was. So she's in the back, and Mencia's married. He's not going to do anything. So he turned off all the lights, and then sent me in. And then I started hooking up with the girl. And it went for a good 15 minutes before she realized that, I mean, Mencia's tiny, but he shouldn't have stubby arms like that. And then finally she realized that she was having sex with me. Okay, now, very depraved shit right here coming out of this guy's mouth. This guy might be a bigger villain than Nikocado Avocado. So now to refresh you on what the hell just came out of this dude's mouth. Carlos is married. He doesn't want to hook up with this chick who just blew a driver to get onto the bus. Right there, she's out. In anyone's book, she's out, man. You steep yourself down to the driver level. I mean, you're not fit to be on this bus, lady. That doesn't stop Brad. Brad, he wants to get in them guts. So now Brad, he came up with this brilliant idea. Carlos, we're going to prank this girl, dude. This is going to be so awesome, man. We're going to turn off all the lights, and then I'm going to jump in there. I'm going to, really give it to her, I'm going to really, yeah. And she's not going to even know the difference, man. And you're married. You don't have to worry about it. You just sit in the next room, man. Now, the co-hosts hear this. Right away, they're like, what the fuck did you just say? Listen, the one co-host right away calls him out. It's probably the greatest thing I've seen all week. Watch this.
That's kind of, I feel like that's like a rape story.
What the fuck? Get him. We got to get him. This guy needs to go to jail. Look at the face on him. He's like, yeah, I did it. This guy is fucking insane. Now, listen to his defense on this. I get it, where everyone's trying to be funny, but right away, this guy is like, I don't know, this one might not be funny, man. Like, if this is true, you might be fucked, dude. Listen to this.
Not in a technical sense.
I think technically it is. Well, I hope this was over 7 years ago.
It was.
Okay, right there. Now listen to this. This is very depraved shit. When the co-host brings this up to Brad's defense is, well, not technically. It's not technically rape. Is it? And right away, the guy's like, yeah, it's technically, actually, technicalities are like what we're mostly working on here. You raped her, okay? You did it. Sorry, you're guilty. If you don't have statute of limitations on that shit, you're fucked, my man. I'm telling you that right now. Because, once again, we're not editing this out. Listen to this one more time. This is insane.
Sense?
I think technically.
Listen to this.
Not in a technical sense.
I think technically it is. Well, I hope this was over 7 years ago.
It was. The statute of limitations are good.
It was good being here. Nice knowing you, Brad.
See, this guy, he wants nothing to do with Brad now. This guy's like, dude, I gotta get the fuck away from you, bro. Like, if you're willing to do that to some, random chick that you don't give a fuck about, you're obviously depraved in the head, my friend. This is something that normal people, they just don't do, okay? So, now, a lot of people, you could chalk that up to be like just a regular old, oh, he was trying to be funny, right? But here's my question. If he was trying to be funny, why would he block me on Twitter for saying that? Like, that right there, to me, kind of doesn't make sense. Let's not forget right here, I can't see this guy's shit. And just because I said that one line to him, if I didn't do something like that, I would just brush that shit off. Well, you can't touch me, dude. The shit was, this shit's not true. You could bring it up a million times. They had Carlos talk about it. Carlos is like, I would never do something like that. Let's say it did happen in real life. You're all going to say it didn't happen. Everybody there is going to, what, do you all want to go through the trials? Of course you don't. So my question again, why block me? If you're so innocent, why block me, Brad? It was just a joke. So let's give it up to Brad. Brad Williams, there we go. Blocking me on Twitter. It'll be a while. I'll create a burner. We'll keep tabs on Brad. I got your number, Brad. You ain't going to get away from us that easy. So what else we got on the docket today? Ooh, we got a little bit of Haley Welsh. Let's get on some waiting music for Haley Welsh, Because she's a real Southern, a hometown girl. So we got to talk about her very lightly. We want to have a little smooth approach when talking about Miss Welsh. Because she's not just Hawk Tuiing on that thing. She's going to steal your heart and win over America one view at a time with her podcast. Her first episode of the Talk Tui show aired on September, 10th, I think? And I went and gave that a listen. I was very excited about that. Because this whole Hawk Tuition thing, it doesn't make much sense to me. Yeah, it was cool that it was a viral meme and it was funny. I thought it was genuinely funny when I first saw it. After it gets jammed down your throat so many times, it gets a little stale. But never, in my 36 years, have I ever seen someone's 15 minutes of fame get stretched out so far with so little. Like, this chick damn near not even spit on a dick yet. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta see some proof. But somehow, just through her charisma and her charm, or her attitude and her personality, she's winning a bunch of people over in Hollywood. So everybody's chomping at the bit to strike a deal with this chick. Who ends up getting her? Jake Paul. Jake Paul ends up signing a deal with Hawk Tuohy under his gambling company called Better. You know, Better, B-E-T-R is the name of his gambling company. And I searched for some scandals with them, and surprisingly enough, I didn't find anything. I mean, I'm not CoffeeZilla, but I could do enough research to where if they had a scandal, I feel like I would have came across it. Something worth talking about at least, you know what I mean? Nothing. So they end up signing this Hawk Tuohy. She has her podcast, and her first guest is none other than Whitney Cummings. You guys remember Whitney Cummings? Whitney had Hawk Tuohy on her podcast. And I ended up covering that because I thought it was kind of strange that Whitney and everybody else in Hollywood was trying to use this girl's newfound fame in their benefit. All of them trying to sign deals with her to ride the coattails of what she has going on. You know, this girl is like one of the most famous people in the country right now. Somehow, though, her podcast was probably the most boring fucking thing I've watched in a long time. Even with Whitney Cummings on there, like I was like, oh man, Whitney's gonna get on there. So it's not gonna be funny, but Whitney's gonna say a bunch of stupid ass shit. I'm gonna end up with like time codes on top of time codes on top of time codes for this show. I got damn near nothing. This shit was so fucking boring. And when you see the way that they put this together, look, I thought Jake Paul was supposed to be like a YouTube mogul. He's supposed to know how to produce content. When you see just the intro on this shit, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Watch this.
Tequila is kind of the only thing I do.
As always, it starts in the middle. We should be used to this by now. This is my MO. So watch this intro. This shit it looks like she and her friend put it together themselves with no input from any producers, no consultation from Jake's team, nothing. Like, it looked like two high school girls just did this for like an AV project. Watch this shit.
Come on, Haley, it's not that bad. All right, it's time to get out of the bed and quit rotting. Haley, get up.
All right, I'm ready to talk. So I wanted to start my podcast out here in Belfast, Tennessee, where
All right, I'm ready to talk. Now, that right there, where were they, what doors were they coming out of? Like, watch this. The one girl comes out of one door. Haley's sitting on the bed. Then another girl comes out of another door. I don't even think it's the same room. Watch this. This shit it's insane. Like, how did Jake Paul see this and not go like, no, we got to do something a little bit more creative than this?
Come on, Haley, it's not that bad.
All right, it's time to get out of the bed and quit rotting.
Haley, get up.
All right.
All three of these girls pop into her room at different times to just tell her to get up, quit writing. What was she writing? There's no context to this. They're all telling her to get out of bed and shit, and then the first shot is her like kind of out of bed. They didn't show her like sleeping, nothing like that. In the one shot, look, this is funny to me. In the first shot, the girl's like, Haley, quit rotting. She's sitting on the bed, not writing anything. She's sitting there cuddled up with her Matt Rife pillow. Look at her sitting over here. Womp womp. This shit is fucking hilarious.
Come on, Haley, it's not that bad.
All right, it's time to get out of the bed and quit rotting.
Haley, get up.
Oh, rotting.
All right, I'm ready to
I
talk.
thought she said writing. She said rotting. So what? This bitch has just been sitting in the bed with the Matt Rife pillow. Is that the context here? This shit is weak. Weak from the start. Let's listen to what Miss Hawk Tuohy has to say on this intro.
So I wanted to start my podcast out here in Belfast, Tennessee, where I was born at and where I've been ever since until a few weeks ago and everything changed. No, really, I even learned that you can't bring a box cutter on a plane. So we'll be talking about all the crazy stuff.
Isn't that hilarious? It's a 9/11 joke. She just learned now that you can't bring a box cutter on a plane. Just now she learned that. You know, they don't tell you in school about the box cutters of 9/11. They don't tell you about that. It was an American tragedy. All right? Not to be taken lightly. What producer put that joke in there? You don't do that shit. Listen to this. She goes, I even couldn't find a box cutter on a plane. I found it out.
I got into this mess and the stuff that me and Chelsea like to do before all this happened. And I want you guys to get to know me better than Hawk Tuohy. No, it's tuh. Like, you really got to put your emphasis. Yeah, you're not saying tuh, you're saying tuh, you know? Like, you got to really put your back into tuh, you know? My first guest is going to be somebody that's very dear to me, Miss Whitney Cummings. Make sure you hit follow on Talk to Her wherever you get your podcast. We're releasing episodes every Tuesday. And for those of you watching on YouTube, be sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe to that thing.
All right, this is actually, let's watch the intro. This is very, very heartwarming. Oh no, fuck that. Copyright. Can't do that. All right, so, you saw, she's talking like a robot. They got very like high school level production here. Like, once again, this is Jake Paul signed her. You don't have anybody on your team that could help this bitch out? Because that shit was weak. It was cringe as hell. She looked like she was reading from cue cards the whole time. Like, I get it. It's an intro, but like, come on, man. Throw like some authenticity into that read. You know what I mean? You can't just come across like you're actually reading. It's off-putting to the viewer. Now, let's check out Whitney Cummings in this intro. Well, not the intro song, but this right after the intro song. Whitney Cummings has entered the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Keep all this in. This is great. The key to you is don't overthink anything. Don't plan or plot anything.
So this is the set we got going on here. Very nice. Got a little neon sign here with some boots. But you kind of can't see it all that well because the whole entire wall is pink. You got like a nail here. We don't do nothing to hide the fucking power cord on the neon sign. The little, what we got back here? The little Talk Tui sign. It's very Theo Von-esque. A nice little page out of Theo. I wonder what Theo Von has to say about this. I wonder if he's like, yeah, this bitch is stealing my vibe. Looks like Theo Von set, but for a girl. The chairs, I mean, I'll allow him. You know what I mean? The microphones are nice. But here's the one thing I want to point out. If you're listening to this with headphones on, you'll hear it real clear. They do nothing to soundproof this room. Like I'm talking at all. The whole time these girls are talking, it sounds like they're talking in a fucking tunnel on like cell phones. It doesn't even sound like they're talking into microphones. It sounds like they're talking in a tunnel or a trash can on cell phone mics. Like, I actually, when listening to this, I was like in the other room. I was like demoing my bathroom because we're redoing the bathroom, right? I was in the other room and I started catching on to that. I started listening to it. I had to stop what I was doing. I burst through the wall like the Kool-Aid man, and I put my ear up to the speaker so that I could hear it better, and I could hear it perfectly fine. These girls, it was them. I thought it was the echoing throughout the room from the speaker that I was playing on. Turns out, I was in the wrong house the whole time. But I could hear that echo, and like they did nothing about soundproofing this at all. It's kind of fucking crazy. Listen to it real close, you'll hear it.
The key to your success is just flying by the seat of your pants and being exactly who you are.
That's why I think me and you connect on a different level.
I think so too. We both...
It sounds so echoey, you know? And this chummy whole like, we connect on a different level and blah, 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 blah. Dude, Whitney's been in Hollywood a long time. That bitch will finesse the fuck out of you, okay? There's no authentic like relationship happening here. You're a 21-year-old girl. She has nothing in common with you. As much as Whitney wants to have something in common with you, she doesn't, okay? This is all just Hollywood, like, you do my thing, I do your thing, you know? Yeah, we'll exchange numbers, but when you get into a pickle, I'll never pick that shit up. I'm never picking up the phone for you, okay? The second that you accidentally drop a hard R, it's over between us. That's typical Hollywood shit. But I thought this was kind of cringe, this situation. Like I said, this podcast is boring as fuck. But they start talking about like, apparently girls in Nashville are like trying to emulate the Hawk Tuohy girl's success, which I found to be extremely cringe. Like, could you imagine after seeing this viral video, now there's a bunch of drunk girls that like every weekend, their thing is to get dolled up and try to spend a night on the town in Tennessee where she was filmed, her viral moment was filmed, to try to get on one of these viral videos and see if their lives can change in the same way that hers is. If that's not the cringiest shit I've ever heard, I don't know what is.
Anybody.
I think we weirdly need more talking out of our ass. Like, I know that sounds insane because everyone online seems like they're doing that, but I actually think it's the opposite. I think everyone is doing a bad impression of themselves, or they're repeating what they heard somebody else say, or they're so obsessed about their brand or trying to do what you did. They're trying to get a catchphrase going. They're trying to get some brand going, and it feels so inauthentic, so artificial, and it's so repellent. And then you just talked out of your ass and it was something, you know.
I had no intention of that.
Yeah, that's why it worked. Everyone else was running around with intention, being like, how do I get famous off this? How do I get viral off this? And you were just, you know.
So funny. So now Whitney, she's like, yeah, you know, Hollywood, they need more people like you that just get famous off of saying like some bullshit that came out of their ass. You know what I mean? Once again, nobody knows whether or not this girl even has anything that anybody wants to hear. You know? We had nothing. She said 2 words. She did a couple podcasts. Okay, we found out her mom's a crackhead. She came from a small town in Tennessee. She worked in a spring factory. Other than that, we have nothing to say like, oh, this girl is worth investing our media money into, you know? If I was Jake Paul, I'd sign her. I'd be like, we're going to give you a TikTok account, see where it goes. I'm not going to just give you a whole fucking podcast, start exposing you to the world and put my money on the line. Not happening. But I digress because we're losing the point. Listen to Haley. She's about to talk about how girls are trying to emulate her success. Cringe as fuck.
Nashville's still like trying to recreate it.
No
like,
one.
There's interviews everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
The idea that in Nashville right now, girls get dressed up and get drunk to try to get filmed outside of a bar to get your career is so funny to me.
Get me a bottle of vodka.
Yeah, they're just out there like.
You know what I think is funny? I think it's funny that if Whitney wasn't famous and she was the same age as Haley Welch is right now, she'd be doing the same thing to try to get famous. Whitney's not above this kind of behavior, so the fact that she's like sitting here having a good old time making fun of it is a little ironic to me. But now we listen to Haley talk about how she has this like alter ego. She has this like feisty side when she gets drunk. She calls her Harley. I don't know. This is just dumb as fuck. Like, this reminded me of like JoJo Siwa. JoJo Siwa's like, I get radical Rick. I get drunk, I get radical Rick, you know? These like southern people, they think they get drunk and they're like Frank the Tank from fucking the movie Old School. You're never gonna live up to that. Never.
Shit.
Okay, so let me ask you. I feel like as you get older, you start to realize this. You seem to know this. Does your personality change based on the liquor you're drinking? Like, I'm a different person. Vodka, wine, tequila. What's wine do?
Wine kind of makes you want to hump the couch a little bit.
So this is the shit that we're talking about. What the fuck? This is why I was saying this podcast it was boring as fuck. I don't understand. Like, they gotta get. I don't know how they're gonna turn this thing around. I feel like you could get the most entertaining guests on here, and they're gonna turn it. I'm sorry, I can't even gather my thoughts here. This podcast is dog shit. Like, if you're sitting there talking about something as generic as like, what kind of person are you when you drink different types of liquor? What is this, fucking Cards Against Humanity? Talk about something that we give a fuck about. Like, this is what I'm talking about. It was torture getting through this goddamn thing. Now listen to her talk about her alter ego, Harley.
Oh, speak for yourself.
And then dark liquor, I could probably find
No wonder you're running a dog rescue.
Yeah.
You behave like one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
dark liquor does what?
I could probably fight a grizzly bear if I drink dark liquor.
Okay.
Like Fireball, I can't drink it anymore. I either drunk cry or I get like violent. Like, it's out of my hands.
Imagine what that video would have done.
Like, that's where Harley come from. That's my alter ego.
Now, could you imagine Haley Welch? Could you imagine that little Hawk Chewy girl all fucking liquored up on Fireball trying to fight somebody? She's just fucking like white girl Karen behavior at its best. You know what I mean? I couldn't picture it. It would be like seeing you remember Scooby-Doo? And there was that character, he was like the puppy. What was his name? I think his name was Scrappy Doo. That's what I picture. She's sitting there talking about being drunk on whiskey. I picture her like Scrappy Doo. She's trying to fight everybody, but everybody's just kind of holding her away, like, come on, little girl, you're really making this awkward here. So now she starts talking about her caricature, Harley. Harley is the person that she becomes when she gets drunk.
Imagine what that video would have done.
Like, that's where Harley come from. That's my alter ego.
Harley.
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 Harley. Like, you got Haley and then you got Harley.
It's just a straight up Nicki Minaj over here. She's got all her personalities.
Yeah.
So Harley, we see Harley when Harley drinks liquor. Brown
Not
liquor.
even, yeah, I'd say brown liquor.
Okay.
You can testify that.
Champagne?
So she busts out Harley right before she busts out Hawk Tui. She's got like 9 different personalities. This is great. Still boring as fuck. I don't even get it. But this one thing I thought was kind of like, I was like, whoa, now we're getting somewhere. You know, now we're getting a little bit spicy. She starts talking about how she's like constantly on the verge of shitting her pants. Did you know that? Did you know that? While everybody's out there, you know, fantasizing about this girl Hawk Tui and all over shit, she's in a bathroom somewhere, like blowing the spot up. You know what I mean? Like, she's lactose intolerant. She's talking about how she can't keep away from the stuff. She's always in the bathroom bombing it, you know, just fucking bombing the bathroom. I thought this was kind of disturbing, you know, to listen to Miss Welch talk about her problems like this, but it makes for good podcasting.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I love to clean. Cleaning's really fun.
But that might be cute to like,
it
I mean, you could just like order in for them or go pick up your...
We did yesterday.
Look at that. I didn't even notice that. This is how good the production is here in this one. If you're watching, this is going to be a nice little treat. Jake Paul spent so much money to sign this bitch, get her a management, whatever, you know, get the contracts in place. We're going to set up a studio, get the microphones, all this. We're going to put this, look at the neon sign in the background. Right in the middle of her talking, the sign just shuts off.
But that
Watch
might be
this.
cute to like, I mean, you could just like order in for them or go...
What the fuck is that, dude? Get this the fuck out of here. So these guys, they got to put so much money into Miss Haley Welsh, right? And the only thing they're they actually, I'm talking shit. It's obvious they didn't put no money into this. So the only thing they're banking on is the fact that they think people are gonna watch just because of the Hawk Tui, you know? We'll take that level, we'll take that little catchphrase and the fame that she's generated off of it. We'll mix it with a couple of real C-list fucking celebs. And we're about to make a killing off of this. We're not even going to have to put that much money into it. Jake Paul probably really thought to himself that this was going to be like a easy cash grab type situation. And I guess it kind of is because they already got the sponsors and everything, so they're making something. But I don't know how much they can squeeze out of this because if every episode's like this, I'm not watching. Fuck this.
No, I love to clean. Cleaning's really fun.
But that might be cute.
Look at that
to like,
sign.
I mean, you could just like order in for them or go pick up your...
We did yesterday.
You know?
I haven't stayed the night with him in a while.
She won't even let him stay at her house.
Nice. Good shit, Haley.
I'm not going to sit there and ask Granny, hey, Granny, can my man stay the night? That's a conversation I'm not
Granny
trying to
would
have
not
with Granny.
care.
Granny's
Granny's
going to
proud.
look at me and I don't know. It weirds me out.
So now Haley's talking. Look, this girl, this is what I'm talking about. She's a fraud, man. This girl is not spitting on shit. She's talking to, this girl is so innocent that she doesn't even let her boyfriend spend the night. She still lives with her granny. And her granny would totally let this guy spend the night. But she values the sacred relationship that she has with her grandmother so much that she doesn't even want to have that conversation with her. My sweet old granny. She doesn't even want to do that. So now this guy, he's got to have blue balls for like ever, just off of the fact that this girl actually don't spit on shit. I find this very hypocritical.
Fair enough.
So he can't sleep over. He could sleep in another room.
I don't think she'd care, but I don't want to have the conversations. All it is.
I don't mind that. I like that.
I just like that's Granny. Granny thinks I'm like a pimp, you know.
You know what I appreciate? A moral compass.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Okay, we're getting off topic here, Whitney. Nobody gives a fuck about this moral compass. We need to hear about her shit in her britches, all right?
Yeah,
you know.
Look
I
at
love
this.
to clean. Cleaning's really fun.
But that might be cute.
Why does it keep going back to this time code? Go to this one.
Yeah,
you know.
No, I love to clean. Cleaning's really fun.
But that might be cute to like. I mean, you could just like order in.
Sorry, folks, we're having technical difficulties.
it is.
I don't mind that. I appreciate it for shit.
Is that what this is really all about?
Okay.
You haven't slept over at his house.
Appreciate that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got a little ahead of myself. The moral compass was leading into it. I was getting bored. I apologize. I'm getting bored right now watching the shit. All right, here we go. Miss Haley Welch talks about shit in her pants.
Appreciate a capacity for shame and embarrassment.
Is the real reason you haven't slept over at his house is because you're scared to clog his toilet in the morning? Is that what this is really all about?
Okay.
Look at that. That's bad. That's when you know it's bad. Even her own manager, that guy he's supposed to be looking out for her. He's sitting there like, you sure you don't not let him stay over because you're gonna fuck the bathroom up like you do here at the studio? This guy, he's saying a lot without saying anything, you know? He's like, we can't even walk the halls when you're done fucking blowing that shit up. We are dying here. So I could only imagine what your boyfriend might be going through. This is rough. Watch this.
Over at his house is because you're scared to clog his toilet in the morning? Is that what this is really all about?
Look at
Okay. Okay. Just because we figured out that I'm, what do you even call it?
Lactose intolerant?
Lactose
Full of
intolerant.
shit?
I am full of shit.
Bro, this girl is literally 21 years. She hasn't figured out that she's lactose intolerant until she went to LA. What the fuck kind of shit is this? That's insane to me. How do you not figure that out? You haven't had like a bowl of cereal and been like, oh, huh, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? It took you that long to figure that out? Really?
Both ways. Yeah, I probably would clog the stores.
But you got to just make a Starbucks run, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get out
Always
of there.
have a shit plan.
Oh, listen, this is actually genius, dude. This manager, he's got like fucking dating 101, like God level fucking shitting advice when it comes to having a girl at your place. Listen to this.
When there's a sleepover, that's
But
like
by the way,
rule
tell
number
us your
one.
shit plan, Jamie. It's
You
really
want to hear
good.
my shit plan?
Yes.
It's actually fucking great.
This is so
I
fun.
live right up the block from here. So if there's ever a situation where I have to shit really bad and I'm with a girl, I always go, oh my God, there's an emergency at the office. Like someone's stuck in the garage. I'll be right back. Just stay here. I'll be right
I
back.
love that people still do phones like this.
Yeah, right. Like it still works like that. And then I'll just come here when no one's here and just come upstairs and shit and then go back home and be like, yeah, I had to let, my friend out of the garage. Everything's fine. Let's go back to sleep. That's what I do. I come here every time.
Well, see, my issue.
See, now that's genius level move, dude. So this guy's like, yeah, man, I have a girl come over. Forget all that. I shit at the office. That place is right up the street from my house. I just lie to the bitch. I'm like, yeah, I got to go up there, let the guy out the garage. This shit's crazy. You know what I mean? So now let's give it up for that shit plan. You know what I mean? And we'll give it up for the Hawk Tua podcast. I'm telling you right now, probably some of the most boring shit that I've watched in a long ass time. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not the only one who thinks so. You know what I mean? Like, I watched it, and that's where I got my analysis from. This shit was boring. Other people online have just been speculating about it. I was watching the BFFs podcast with Dave Portnoy, and I love Dave Portnoy because he can be, he's like an idiot. You know what I mean? And so like when shit comes out of his mouth that seems like offensive or kind of a little offlandish, it always comes from a place of him just being like a dumb Boston Italian idiot. That's really all it is. So he doesn't like filter that shit. He just like lets it fly. He doesn't take too much time to think before he speaks. And you get these like little nuggets of gold that come out of his mouth that just make me so happy.
Gonna watch.
He ends up bringing up Hawk Tua and the fact that she's about to start a podcast. He hasn't watched it yet. And I couldn't have said this shit better myself. Listen to this guy. Perfect.
The Hawk Tua Girl launching podcast on Jake Paul's network. Haley Welsh was known as Hawk Tua Girl, launching her own podcast, Talk Tua, on Jake Paul's Better Media Network.
Yep.
You're the first guest?
I was one of the first guests, yeah.
So now she has this guy on for the first guest of her podcast. Obviously, it's not the first episode that aired. And, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, I've been watching BFFs for like the past 4 weeks. I still don't know who this guy is. I have no idea what his name is. So this is the shit that I was talking about earlier with Haley's podcast. You got to get bigger names than this. If you want people to continue to watch that boring shit, we got to do better than whoever this guy is. I don't even know this guy's name. I've been watching the show for a month. Okay? Now let's listen to Dave talk about this.
I think I might have been the first person she ever recorded with, but I don't know if I'm getting released first. I don't think I'm the first episode that gets released.
How did it go? I'm going on it soon, and was it
You're
good?
going on
fun?
it too?
Yeah.
What, Dave, you want the invite now?
No, I don't think I would go on.
So now Brianna Chicken Fry is going on the show. People know Brianna Chicken Fry on TikTok and stuff like that, but once again, what are we doing here? Is she going to be like for the younger TikTok crowd, but then you've got Whitney Cummings on there? Like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? Who else are the guests going to be? Like, it just, this podcast seems like they put no thought into it. They were like, let's just hop on the 15 minutes now while we can. So this is like the crypto pump and dump of podcasts. You know what I mean? But Dave sees this. Dave sees right through this. He knows that this podcast is going to be bullshit. He hasn't even watched it. Listen to this.
On that, if I was invited, to be totally honest.
I really don't think you would either.
Ooh, listen to the way he says this. I love this part.
No, I don't think I would go on that if I was invited, to be totally honest.
I really don't think you would either, but just so you...
Look at that. What the fuck? Dave Portnoy wouldn't even go on your show if you asked him. He would not even go on the show if you fucking asked him. Listen to this. I'm loving Dave for this right now.
You can say no.
It's the slogan that we have.
It is.
I'm wearing it right now.
I would like to... Yeah, my computer's blocking. I didn't even notice. I would like to be invited so I could say no, but that would be a pretty fast no for me. How was it?
It was good. I mean, you can tell.
What did she talk about?
She was like asking.
See, now Dave's starting to get suspicious here. Dave right away, he's like, I mean, what did you guys just talk about spitting on shit the whole time? Like, she has really no like anything interesting to say. Like, she came from a small town. She doesn't really have that much of a background. Nobody knows her like in the public eye, so like nobody got to know who she is yet. So like we're only falling in love with like the one phrase. It's a lot of stuff to gamble on to like, you know, make this big of an investment for her. Dave sees right through all of this. Listen to him.
I would like to be invited so I could say no, but that would be a pretty fast no for me. How was it?
It was good. I mean, you can tell.
What did she talk about?
She was like asking advice on how you can kind of like seize the moment within social media. Like, you know, she blew up off of 2 words. It's like, how do I kind of evolve and turn that into more?
That's great. So this guy, he's basically sitting there saying that her whole show is just going to be every time somebody comes on, she's going to go, you got any advice for me? Because I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing here. I am still shocked that anybody even gives a fuck why she is even asking this once again guy that I don't know for advice on this stuff. It's like the show, we gotta turn this thing around. Jake, you and your team, you need to fix this. This cannot happen like this, okay?
So that's what she was talking to me about. I
really like the name of the podcast.
Talk to her.
It's good. Yeah,
Talk to her. Yeah, it's a good name. It's a good name.
It's good.
Playing off the, you know.
There can't be anybody anywhere, no disrespect, who gives a fuck what she has to say.
Dave Portnoy. We got him. Dave has fucking nailed it, ladies and gentlemen. I could not have said that better myself, dude. I could not have said that better myself. That was my exact thoughts going into this podcast, and it lived up to the expectations. I mean, I was expecting like just nothing short of it just being boring as fuck, and it lived up to its expectations. Dave just nailed it. Like, I wish I would have saw this episode of BFFs before I watched it. I would have maybe had a better perspective on whether or not I should have gave it the time of day.
There can't be anybody anywhere, no disrespect, who gives a fuck what she has to say.
That's probably what the whole internet is saying.
Well, you probably don't need to worry about getting invited on now.
Look, that's so, even Brianna Chicken Fry is even saying, everybody online's probably saying the same exact shit, dude. Like, so let's give a round of applause for Dave Portnoy. I'm telling you right now, Dave is a man of my own heart. I will be a solid BFFs listener from this point forward, because you just never know what gold is going to come out of that dude's mouth. So let's end it with a little bit of Kill Tony, right? we're going to get into some of these Sam J time codes. You guys remember Sam J? I made that joke about her being like an Antifa style looking lesbian. People in the comments love that one, you know. I had somebody honestly ask me what I meant by that. What, you never heard a joke? I got to explain myself with this shit to you guys now all of a sudden? Did you want me to ruin the whole thing by explaining every fucking thing that I say on here? Come on, man. We're not doing that here. So let's jump into this Kill Tony. Of course, we got to start with the intro. You know, I always get a kick out of Tony's intros and these gay vests. So let's give it a watch.
Redman coming to you live from the Comedy Mothership here in Austin, Texas for a brand new episode of Kill Tony. Give it up for Tony Hinchcliffe!
Oh, Tony. Yes. Doing the waft. Yes. Oh, yes. Wearing the gayest leather vest that you've ever seen. Oh, not leather. I'm sorry. Puffy. Wearing the gayest puffy yellow vest is what I meant to say. What is that, Tommy Hilfiger? If I'm remembering correctly, that guy was racist.
Who's ready for the best fucking night of their lives, huh?
Does he give us the yippee? Does he do it this time? Let's see. Yippee! Oh, he did it. Fuck yes. All right. I mean, we cannot start the Kill Tony segment without going through the intro. I'm sorry, everybody. Now, we got Sam J and Greg Fitzsimmons. Let's give them a round of applause. We're about to check out their intro. So, yeah, Sam J, she comes in looking like a little dude, and Greg Fitzsimmons coming in looking like an old bald fuck. And we're going to get a nice little eyeful of that here.
Before you know her from the roast of Tom Brady with me. You know him as one of the greatest guests and comedians in the history of the show. Make some noise for Sam J and Greg Fitzsimmons.
It's kind of fucked up how Tony did that there. He goes, you know her from the roast of Tom Brady with me. Bro, she was in a movie with Jonah Hill way before that. You don't give her no credits for that. Why does Tony always have to try to make everything like he was the one behind it? That's the only reason he pushes like a lot of the shitty regulars and stuff on this show, like Drew Nickens. Drew Nickens? We're gonna watch that fucking bomb fest later. So this shit is crazy to me. I digress.
Sam J. And the Irish goat, Greg Fitzsimmons. Booyah.
Ooh, I can't do it. Greg took off that hat. I thought I was about to have to end the show right here. Because even through the TV screen, that shit was glaring. The reflection was about to do me in. So now, like I said, I bring up Drew Nickens, right? This shit was painful to watch. Drew Nickens is like an anomaly to me. And he's a perfect example of the point that I brought up with Tony a minute ago, where Tony always wants to make it seem like he's the one that's behind everything. So when Tony gets like a comedian that he wants to push, even if they end up being shitty, he still wants to do anything that he can to make sure that they like make it somehow, just so that he can say that he's the one who did it. And he does this with Drew Nickens. And oddly enough, every single time he brings Drew on stage, he goes, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a lot of bombs tonight, and I always like to bring out one comedian that I know will fix the situation. You know, he'll really bring us out from underneath all these bombs that we've been seeing on stage here. You know, he plays it up like Drew's about to save the show. And 9 times out of 10, Drew comes out, he bombs harder than anybody else on stage. I'm talking huge, like the biggest bombs you've ever fucking seen. Half the time you can't understand them. So we're going to check out this set right here. Tony's going to do the same pitch, the same intro. Like I said, we got to get this bomb fest out of here and really bring the show back to life.
There's
so
no
much. This
other
is a lot of
option.
fun. Thank you, guys.
There he goes, Goliath. I'm going to count that 40 seconds of mediocrity as a bomb. And with that means I bring to the stage a special force, if you will. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the long-awaited return of Drew Nickens.
You got to be careful saying that, Drew Nickens. You know what I mean? If you say it the wrong way, you're canceled, all right? So you got to be careful. Make sure you say that shit right.
I'm blacker than Kamala Harris. When I first got my head injury, I was in a dark place. But you know what pulled me out of it? The children's TV show, The Wiggles. Y'all know The Wiggles. Fruit salad. Yummy, yummy.
There goes a couple bombs right there. Now remember, this is the guy that Tony said is going to save the show from all the bombs that we just witnessed, okay? Keep that in mind while listening to the rest of this.
They're actually doing a tour across the U.S., 18 and up. And I'm so excited because I'll be able to see my favorite music group and not be put on a registry. And imagine all the hipsters that are going to be so fucked up on Coke and Molly, it's people watching for days. But don't worry, I'll be safe because I'm going to wear a helmet to the mosh pit. But I know I'm going to find my soulmate.
All right, so that's how the whole thing goes. The whole set is you get a couple laughs just because people are like, oh man, this guy's like retarded. Which I feel bad for him, you know what I mean? Because he had like a head injury, so he actually is like brain damaged a little bit. But it's just like, it's almost like he's like a guinea pig for Tony. Tony's like almost like using him as an experiment to be like, I'm telling you, I could take anybody and make him successful. That's how good the show Kill Tony is. That's how popular it is. That it doesn't matter who I put on that stage. The crowd's going to eat it the fuck up, all because I put in a good word for him. That's all. That's what I see. When I see Drew Nickens every week getting back on here and bombing like this, that's what I see. That's how I interpret it. Is that Tony is just using this guy as some sort of fucking experiment, right? Now, here's his interaction with the guests, Sam and Greg Fitzsimmons. Drew is half black. I think his dad is like black. Doesn't matter. If your skin's white, bro, you might as well not be black. I'm sorry. You as soon as you come out the womb white, your whole family could be black. You lose all privileges. You can't say the N-word. You can't do none of that. Okay? So you can't start getting all real chummy with black people in certain ways like white people do. You know what I mean? Like certain real awkward white people, they'll meet a black person, right? Hey, how you doing? Oh, nice to meet you. My cousin's best friend's from Uganda. That's the opener for the conversation. It's like, whoa, man, you already set a fucking dividing line in this whole thing. We haven't even gotten started, you know? So you can't be doing shit like that. If you're half black, but your skin tone's white, I'm telling you right now, you lose that privilege. Okay? You cannot relate. I'm sorry. So now Drew starts trying to do that to Sam. It gets real awkward real quick. Watch this.
Room. Sam, what do you think about sweet Drew Nickens here?
Yo, that was fire. What's up, bro? That was fire because it was like in the tone of like every 90s commercial I ever grew up watching. So my brain was just programmed for it. Like, I don't even know what you said, but I felt good at the end. I was like, yeah, that was complete. I feel good as shit.
See, so now Sam, she feels bad for Drew. She's like, this is her first impression of him. She's like, I feel bad for this guy. You know what I mean? He's kind of like making an ass of himself on stage. So she's like, man, you sounded like the 90s commercials. It gave me like a sense of nostalgia. And even though I didn't know what you said, it made me feel real good as soon as you got done saying it. So right now, she's kind of on Drew's side. And Drew's about to fuck that up in the most fucking awkward way possible. Watch this shit.
absolutely adorable set, Drew. You came out guns a-blazing, blacker than Kamala Harris, which is true. Believe it or not, Drew Nickens, I've seen pictures. His father is black. It is unbelievable. He's
I'm half
truly
black,
black.
Sam.
See that? That's right there. So now Tony brings up the fact that his father's half black, right? Not too awkward, you know, because of the joke that he made. He opened his set by saying, I'm blacker than Kamala Harris. Because everybody knows that bitch is like Indian. So that's his opener. So Tony's just, you know, talking on that. So it's not gotten awkward yet. So now Tony finishes, he's like telling that to the crowd. Isn't this an interesting fact about Drew? And Drew could just double down on the Kamala Harris joke and be like, yeah, I'm way blacker than that chick, whatever. Or he could just leave it alone, you know. Even that was a little risky. Instead, he says to Sam, yeah, Sam, I'm half black. Did you know that? Did you know that I'm half black? Like, we could be cool now. Like, you know, you don't have to be like this, like, you know, BLM, Antifa, lesbian, like, and have your walls up with me. Like, we're on the same team because my dad's half black. And she's like, motherfucker, no, that's not how this shit works at all, okay? Watch this, and this shit is gold, dude. Watch this.
Black. It is unbelievable. He's truly
black,
black.
Sam.
He's very excited to be black.
I swear, she looked like she wanted to kill me.
I don't listen, man. Weirder things have happened. I gotta see the pic though.
It is
See, so now even now Sam is trying to save it. You know what I mean? Even now, she's like, I didn't like that very much, but we are putting on a show here. So she goes, I don't know. I gotta see the pics, man. I don't need it. I don't believe it. So they actually pull the pics out from Drew's phone and show her and stuff like that, which is whatever. But now Drew keeps doing it. He keeps trying to like relate to her on like black culture and stuff, which I mean, Drew might have experienced throughout his life having a black father. But once again, the optics are not there. You know what I mean? There's something about you having white skin. This shit don't work. You cannot do this. So now watch him try this with her again, dude. This shit is almost painful to watch.
Drew, life's been good since you joined the show?
Yeah, I went on my first date in 2 years, like 2 weeks ago. There's not going to be a second, though. Don't worry.
There's not going to be a second date.
No.
What happened?
She said, I can't give you what you deserve. I just want attention.
She said that? Or was that you that said that?
No, she said that. I had the text messages to say it.
Oh, she sent it via text.
Yeah, it was, dog, I cried to Mariah Carey like for 4 hours after that.
Oh.
So now see right here, this is the first little inclination of it. He goes, dog, I cried for like 4 hours because of that. So now Sam hears this. She's like, here we go with this bullshit again. He's like code switching on stage over the fact that I'm here. Now, Drew he probably is like a real big fan of her, and that's probably why he's trying to like, you know, suck up to her like this. But this ain't the way to do it. You're doing it the wrong way, my friend. So Sam hears him. He's like, dog, I cried for like 4 fucking hours listening to Mariah Carey off of that shit. And Tony's like, wait, oh, you did? And he keeps doubling down. He's on the code switching. Watch, listen to him.
He attacks.
Yeah, it was, dog, I cried to Mariah Carey like for 4 hours after that.
Oh, you stop it. You did not.
We belong together.
Wow.
So now he's singing and he goes, we belong together. And he's trying to sing it on stage to show everybody, including Sam, like, yeah, I listen to R&B. Like, I get down to Mariah Carey, and when I get sad, I pop that shit on. That shit really brings me back up. You know, that shit bring me back to life, dog. You know what I'm saying, motherfucker? So he's trying to get like that kind of vibe out of Sam. And Sam ain't with the shit. You could even see right here on Sam's face, Sam's looking down. She's about to pick up the mic like, motherfucker, you what? Like, don't try to do this shit right here live in front of everybody. Now listen, watch this.
You did not.
We belong together.
Wow.
I mean, I give my all. What the hell? Okay.
That's a Mariah Carey song you're singing?
She knows.
What the hell is that supposed?
Look at that, Drew Nickens. What the fuck with that? So now he finishes singing this Mariah Carey, and Tony's like, I don't know. Oh, look at that. My hair's getting crazy. Sorry, folks. So Drew, he sings the Mariah Carey, and Tony's like, I don't know Mariah Carey. You know, I don't get down to that kind of music. Is that even a Mariah Carey song? And Drew's like, yeah, it's a Mariah Carey song. She knows, she's black. She can vouch for me. Right? Black people love Mariah Carey, right? And she's looking at him like, nah, dog. Nah. That's not what we're, nah, bro. We ain't doing that shit. Not here. Not tonight. We ain't doing that. Listen to this. This is gold.
Supposed to mean.
Look, watch.
She knows.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
She's nah, bro.
I don't know, bro.
We both had a crush on Mariah Carey. What's up?
So now he's trying to save it. He's trying to say, oh, you're a lesbian, so we both had a crush on Mariah Carey. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know. And she's like, and now he just made it worse. Now you went from, oh, he was making like, oh, they were relating on black people loving Mariah Carey. Now he's trying to just turn it around on her because she's a lesbian. So Drew's fucking drowning right here. You know what I mean? I'm loving this. This is funny as fuck.
This is like American Idol when they be showing you the ones that didn't make it. but like if it didn't stop. Like, you know, they cut it at some point.
God damn. I mean, Sam J fucking hating on fucking Drew Nickens, dude. This shit is wild. And then we're going to end it on a little bit of Pauly Shore. I didn't even know that Pauly Shore was on this episode because the title of it is just Greg Fitzsimmons and Sam J. Pauly ends up coming on here maybe for like a surprise set or something. Yeah, I'm telling you, he is hawked the fuck up on drugs. Like, he can't even finish the punchlines. Wait until you see this shit.
Laser just killed himself in the back, so you guys will never have to see his fucking ass again. I'm just saying. And I've taken over for Laser. Now it's the Wheeze fucking time, bro. What the fuck do you think, bro? Yes. Thank you guys for coming. Give it up for Kill Tony and the fucking Shazam crew. Fucking Shazam. So, you ready for my fucking rim shots this time, Mike? Wake the fuck up and stop texting when I'm on fucking stage, you cock.
So right now, Pauly's not doing too bad. You know, he's doing his normal Pauly shtick. He's talking shit, you know, doing whatever. But it's about to take a left turn real fucking quick. Watch it. You can kind of tell if you watch closely that he looks a little disheveled a little bit. But now you start hearing it in his voice. This dude's like drugged the fuck up. And weird enough, they cut the audio for like 2 minutes. Like prior to him being on stage. They left the video on, but it was just dead silent. They just cut the audio. So I don't even know what could have possibly been said before this guy got on stage or whatever the fuck situation was. But he's clearly fucked up, and you're about to see it now.
Sucker. I'm in front of 20,000 people, kind of eating shit at Madison Square Garden. I do a rim shot joke, and I'm going like, I need help, and he fucking doesn't do shit. Anyways, I've been matching with a lot of black chicks on Bumble lately. I think I was on the dating app Bumble. It's where women choose you, and lately a lot of black chicks, they've been fucking choosing me. I had no fucking idea my whole life.
Look at that. So Pauly now, he's dropping the microphone down. He's not even talking into the mic. He's sitting there telling this joke. This is the first joke he's told since he got on stage. You know what I mean? He was just busting balls the whole time, you know, doing his little intro. He's halfway through the joke. He's already putting the mic down. He doesn't even know what the fuck is happening here. Watch this. This is wild.
Lately, I think I was on the dating app Bumble. It's where women choose you, and lately a lot of black chicks, they've been fucking choosing me. I had no fucking idea. My whole life I've been picking up on the wrong chick. My whole life I've been picking...
See, so he's losing it right now. He thinks he's just talking to the crowd, period. He doesn't even know there's a mic in his hand hardly. Now keep watching. This is getting worse.
My whole life I've been picking up on the crack ass hoes, and I left these fine ass Shaniquas on the motherfucking table. Ain't that a motherfucking bitch? I was dating a girl recently, and she did break up with me for a black guy. I said, why'd you do that? And she said to me, I just like black dick. So
what the fuck was that? So Parley is obviously losing his edge here. Now we're about to end it on this one. He's about to stumble over a punchline and fuck the whole thing up. This guy has lost his way. Watch this.
So what I did is I spray painted my dick back, and I fucked that up.
See, Paulie's fucking losing his mind. He's rubbing the microphone on Greg's head and all that shit. I mean, let's just end it on that note. Let's give it up for Kill Tony, Paulie Shore, Sam J, Greg Fitzsimmons. Let's turn on a little bit of music, and then we could start getting ready to get out of here. As always, we love to have you back every single week. You know you can catch us every Wednesday. New episodes go up on YouTube at youtube.com/@LostAUXmedia. That's youtube.com/@LostAUXmedia. Every Wednesday, those episodes on YouTube go up at 4, and the episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere else you get your podcasts go up at 5 a.m. That way, on your way to work, you can listen to the episodes, and when you get home from work, you can watch them. That's just the way we do it here. So, as always, love to have you, and until next time, thank you for watching.
Big